The next activity will help students better understand sense embodiment. The purpose of this activity is to help students more deeply understand how sensory details show the reader what is happening in a story rather than merely tell. This supports one of the module's core learning targets, identifying, analyzing, and applying sensory details. This activity can be used in any of the module lessons that include sensory detail learning targets and standards. You can connect this activity to sensory stations. We suggest implementing these activities throughout the weeks during which you focus on individual senses. As students explore sensory stations each day, begin introducing theater-integrated activities that will help them physically connect their sensory experiences to the text. The use of theater combined with sensory stations and activities will also encourage students to build empathy by allowing them to physically imagine with their whole bodies how the character Brian could have felt throughout his journey in Hatchet. The techniques used for this activity are visualization and improvisation. To use these techniques, first, students use the SenseFinder graphic organizer included in the printable pack to identify examples of sensory details in a given module text. Through group discussion, students share their findings with the class. The teacher may choose to collect findings in a collective visual anchor chart. Next, you should prompt your students to embody the sense through visualization. We suggest that you conduct this activity with your students seated at first. Participating in sensory activities seated and with their eyes closed will allow your students to reflect more on their own experiences rather than focus on their peers' choices. Then, after inviting students to close their eyes, prompting can include, with your mind's eye, imagine that you are in a forest. Look around you and observe your surroundings. From where you're standing or sitting, what do you see around you? Now that you see your environment, use your imagination to smell the world around you. How do the trees smell? Does the lake have a scent? Can you smell the fresh air? Does it smell pleasant or gross? As you become more aware of what's around you, begin connecting your sense of smell to your sense of taste. Is there anything you smell that makes you feel hungry? Is there a scent that you want to hunt and find? What is that smell? How is your character feeling at this moment? Now let's connect to our sense of touch. You begin walking toward the scent. You walk slowly through the woods. How does the nature feel as it touches your skin? Are the leaves soft? What about the earth underneath your feet? Are you hot and sweaty, or are you cold? As you continue to build your awareness of the world around you, also become aware of how your body is starting to feel in this environment. As you walk through the forest, what do you hear? How do your footsteps sound? Quiet? Are there leaves that crunch beneath your feet? Are there any animals or bugs you hear? How do you react to these sounds? Are you nervous? Scared? Excited? As an extension, after doing the improvised sensory exploration seated, you can begin to add movement to this activity. We suggest that the extension happen on a different day to avoid overstimulation and to allow your students to take time and reflect on their experiences for each activity. Begin with students in an open space, such as a classroom staging area. Invite them to close their eyes and center their minds before beginning. Give clear instructions before you invite students to open their eyes. For example, when you open your eyes, just look at the world around you and observe it. Then you can invite them to begin moving slowly and with intention as the exercise progresses. You can use the same or similar prompts above regarding the 5 senses.